Think about this for a moment. If you had two people in your life, one is a beloved relative who treats you with nothing but kindness every day, and the other is your arch-nemesis who spends every waking hour plotting your downfall, how would you feel if the Buddha said that, in his heart, these two people are exactly the same? What kind of compassion is that? Today, we are going to dive into a profound story about mercy, betrayal, and a compassion so vast it defies imagination. When the Buddha spoke of equality, he wasn't just using flowery words. He was setting the stage for a series of actions that are almost impossible to conceive. The irony of the opening. Our story begins with a bit of irony. The protagonist isn't a friend or a devoted disciple of the Buddha, but rather his most persistent enemy, his cousin, Devadatta. Devadatta's pride was his undoing. It happened like this. The Buddha had some potent medicine left over from an illness. A famous physician warned that the dosage was extremely strong and shouldn't be taken lightly. Devadatta, ever arrogant, scoffed, "If the Buddha can take it, so can I." He swallowed the medicine, but his body couldn't process it. Soon he was writhing on the ground in agonizing pain. This moment of suffering became the Buddha's canvas to paint a picture of extraordinary compassion. The power of the truthful word. As Devadatta lay dying of pain, the Buddha walked over and gently stroked his head. He then uttered what is known in Buddhism as a truthful word, Satyavakana. Essentially, this is when someone uses the absolute, unadulterated merit and sincerity within their heart to make a wish. The power of such truth is so immense it can alter reality. It wasn't just a get-well-soon wish. It was a manifestation of pure cosmic force. The result? A miracle. The moment the Buddha finished speaking, Devadatta's pain vanished. He leapt to his feet, completely healed. But instead of gratitude, Devadatta began to grumble. If I hadn't taken his medicine, I wouldn't have been sick in the first place. My body healed itself. It had nothing to do with him. The monks nearby were stunned. How could anyone be so ungrateful? But the Buddha remained calm. He told them, "Do not be surprised. This is not the first time Devadatta has repaid my kindness with enmity." To help them understand, he began a story from a time long, long ago. The legend of the Great Bear. The scene shifts to a remote, snow-covered mountain. A poor woodcutter was caught in a fierce blizzard. Just as he was about to freeze to death, a great bear rescued him. The bear used its own body heat to warm him and brought him fruit and herbs to eat, nursing him for 7 days. When it was time to leave, the woodcutter wept with gratitude, swearing he would never reveal the bear's lair. Yet, shortly after descending the mountain, he met 2 hunters. For the mere promise of a share of the bear's meat, he immediately led them back to betray his savior. Can you imagine the scene? As the poisoned arrow pierced the great bear, the animal felt immense pain. But in its dying moments, it didn't utter a curse. Instead, it spoke of karma. All the joy and pain in our lives ultimately stem from our own past actions, the instant retribution. Then came the most shocking moment. As the woodcutter reached out to claim his portion of the meat, the price of his savior's life, both of his arms suddenly snapped off and fell to the ground. It was a terrifying instance of instant karma, arriving swift and heavy. The core lesson, taking on the karma of others. When we compare these 2 stories, we see the same script with different actors. Whether it was Devadatta or the woodcutter, both were saved from death, one by the Buddha, one by the bear. Both responded with betrayal. The Buddha revealed the secret. The compassionate great bear was my past life, and that ungrateful woodcutter was Devadatta. This cycle of betrayal is a deep, ancient karmic entanglement. But a question remains. Why would an enlightened Bodhisattva be reborn as a bear? The answer lies in a vow called taking on the karma of sentient beings. Think of it like this. When we are suffering and pray for help, the Bodhisattva acts like a strong person seeing someone crushed under a heavy burden. He steps in and says, "Let me carry that for you." Our negative karma doesn't just vanish. The Bodhisattva shoulders it. He may appear as a beast or a sufferer, but his enlightened, compassionate heart remains unchanged, always seeking to help. A mirror for ourselves. As we finish this story, let's look at our own lives. Do you remember every single sentence you spoke yesterday? Probably not. If we can't even remember what we said 24 hours ago, how can we possibly remember the countless lives we've lived? How many beings have reached out to save us in the distant past? How many debts of gratitude have we forgotten? The story leaves us with one honest question to ask ourselves. In the forgotten riches of our past, have we ever played the role of Devadatta or the woodcutter? Have we ever been the ones who repaid a great kindness with betrayal?